How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe with me, Anonymous Dysco. As the saga continues, we're still getting these questions every time we fire up the game. These slider time questions. So anyways, it's saying what time is it? Does anyone truly know? Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. Sure, I've adjusted all the game settings to your exact specifications, but who hasn't? It's just like what I do, like a day job. And now the job is over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. That's sad, and I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. Neither of us know what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Video games were meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. There's still one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little time before I'm ready for that. It's not really my job in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again, if you can find me. Talk soon. Ooh, mystery men. So we gotta find them. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see next time we start up the game. We'll see what happens. So, we got the infinite hole ending when we were going through like the Stanley Parable 2.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So new content. So let's head back.
Good. You noticed my sign.
This way.
Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
I feel like there's more to see in the Stanley Parable 2 foyer, whatever you want to call it.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further.
So that's the thing with the narrator.
I'm very proud to announce.
Is he the creator of the game in this universe?
Stanley Parable
Or is he
2.
just, like, is he a creation himself? You know, it's so, what is he?
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
They're back 2 doors. 2, everything's...
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all... Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Okay. Seen the button. There's the infinite hole. Reassurance bucket. I don't know if we saw this last time, so that's where I'm going.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true.
Hey,
as long
there
as
it
you
is.
hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Bucket.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they?
Wow.
All this and more
I think you're
awaits
just giving
you
it
in the Stanley
bucket.
Parable 2.
Anyways, I'm not going to put it back. I'm going to take it with me.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Okay, we saw that one, but I chose the other
Or actually,
balloon.
maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
So there's the free easy achievement, but it's not quite there yet. That's the infinite hole. Jump circle. We've used up all our jumps. Expo Hall guide. Office decorations, epilogue, collectibles, infinite hole, jump circle, this map, free achievement, abundances. So I think we've seen everything. So now we just head for the exit, I guess. I'm taking the bucket with me. I'm taking the bucket with me. Okay, so the exit's up here. So let's head towards the exit. A lot of great features, though. Very fun
All right.
expo.
Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
This freaked me out, the big picture of them. That's cool. That's a cool art piece, though. All right. What's in here?
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Hey.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much
Oh,
better.
black
I feel
marble.
good about this.
That's
Here we go.
esoteric.
Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction,
Ultra
This
Deluxe.
is the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, maybe not.
Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh, hey, nice. Wow. Wonder what happens if you hit credits. So it's same credits by the looks of it. Stanley Parable 2. All right, let's begin. Look for some of these new features.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a
There's the
big building
balloons.
where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee
Please press
427
J on your
did every
keyboard.
day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would
Stanley
forever
Parable
change
2.
Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
All right. Now we're going to find some new content, new features.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
we
Stanley decided to go to the meeting
Happy
room.
12th birthday,
Perhaps he had
step
simply
niece.
missed a memo.
Got that. So that's looking good. Oh, hey.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Nice. Oh, you can set it down. Alright, well. Oh. Okay, so that's back to 416.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now.
It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years.
How long is this gonna go on for? Well, I mean, I really, in all fairness, I appreciate you defending me, but the bucket and I have only...
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
Property
There.
Stanley.
Now it's settled.
Ding dong.
No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Let's just see how long it will go on for.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Well, we've got a few stickers at the very least for the bucket, and let's get on there. Alright, let's keep rocking.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Wonder where the infinite hole is. It's gotta be around here somewhere, right?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
Keep forgetting what this one is. God damn it. Putting it wrong.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
The collectible.
You found one of them. one of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
To
You
the
can't
6,
buy that sort of
baby.
happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Nice. Nice. Property Stanley. Stanley the Manly. I wonder if that will stay on there. I'm so curious what's going to happen too. Like if once I beat this,
elevator
is
it going to
raced
go back to the
downward,
regular Stanley
plummeting
Parable, or
towards
is it
an
going to be still the
unknown
Stanley
fate.
Parable 2? Is it just going to be the
It
Stanley
would be
Parable
all
2
Stanley
from this
could do
point
to
on?
keep himself together,
Or do I have to
if
like
not
go
for
through
the
the
bucket,
new content or to
soothing him,
activate these new
comforting
features?
him,
Like, it's just
reassuring
such
that
a
in this darkest moment of
frickin'
uncertainty,
web.
he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Let's see what happens this way.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
I got the bucket with me though.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Maybe the infinite holes down here though. I want to find that again.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be.
What?
To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere.
Oh, come on.
Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into
And
the
this
enormous
chick
metal
even comes
jaws.
in and still says
In a
with the
single
bucket too.
visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
Now I want to go. We'll go into the credits room. I'm just
It was a
curious
shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket.
if
It's
it
true
will
that all buckets are radiant in their
show
own way,
the credits
but
of
this
the
one
Stanley
stood
Parable
above the
2
rest.
now.
It was a glorious bucket to behold.
There it is, the bucket. Oh man, what a web! You just go down such this freaking web of choices, and everything gets so crazy. All right, the bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within a carnivorous world. Is that cavernous void? I don't know what that word means. Sorry. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of the exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and in darkness? What happened to the bucket? What point did
Can
it
you see
disappear?
how
Sorry.
arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Oh my god. A bucket with two handles. There it is. Inferno bucket, a replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet, in spite of it all, the simple fact remains: no one can control the bucket. Let me touch it. Just let me touch it. Oh, it's like prehistoric times, like worshipping the bucket. Cave drawing. Oh my god. It's just a bucket, guys. Come on,
No
let's
man
relax.
can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
What's back there? Looks like something's back there. The hanging bucket. Oh my god. That's so cool. That looks so cool. Gotta get a screenshot of that. The infinite hole! It's right there. Let me go down it.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Crazy. Alright, so that's the escape bucket ending. And there also looks like the infinite hole was in there somewhere too. So I might try to get my hands on that. Let's see where we're at though. So we're still technically in the Stanley Parable 2 with the new features. Alright, well the sequel is now paused. Resume the game, begin the game again. Settings, quit to the menu. Trippity trip. So much going on, man. Alright, but anyways, that was a little bit more Stanley Parable 2. Some good bucket shit going on in that one for sure. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will talk to y'all very soon. Peace out.